Okay, so we're back doing our Zentangle for day 2. This is the flux that we did yesterday. And today we're going to do something called Crescent Moon. And this right here, this tangle right here in the corner here is Crescent Moon. Okay, so now when I did mine, I made mine my line a little too small. So I'm going to, go past that line. But like I said, we're allowed to do that. Okay, so I'm going to use my pencil just to make my line a little bigger, like that. Okay. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is on your border line, you're going to make a little, kind of like a little semicircle, like that. Now you can make them as big or small as you want, and I just have a little space in between them so you have enough room to make some more. Okay, then I'm turning my tile. Turning my tile. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go along the border line, the pencil border line, and then I'm going to color it in. And that's what I'm going to do to all of them. Now these are rather flat, but you can make them, like the last one I made was rounder than this, but you can make them any way you want. Okay. Okay, now when you're done with the last one, what you're going to do is you're going to start making what they call an aura, A-U-R-A, which is basically like a border around it. So it looks like that. I can try to get this up a little closer. Okay. And then I'm going to go over it like that. Now you can make the border as wide or as tight to the original as you want. Okay, so now when we're finished doing that, we're going to go ahead and do another border. And basically, at this point, you're just making as many as you want as we start to fill up the space. And I'm just going to keep going, and you'll see that eventually they'll start to join together as you go through your space. Now, I'm getting pretty close to mine being pretty full. So there's like a little bit of space in between here. So I'm going to leave mine like this. And the next thing I'm going to do is color it in. So for the spaces in between, I'm going to color in black. Now everything that we do is with a pencil and a black marker, but you can use whatever colors you want. Most of Zentangle is done with black marker, but if you were in the mood for it, you can always use a different color. We'll probably get to some coloring and stuff later on during the series, but this is what we're doing for right now. I have a bit of a thicker marker here that I can use. It's just that it's got a kind of a thick tip. And then I'm going to do some of this part over here. So now it should look like that. Now there's one other thing that's important in Zentangle, and it's shading, which also is another thing that you do to add depth. Now in Zentangle, we use a small pencil like this, and then we use what's called a tortillon, which looks like this, which is basically a paper stump that you use to blend. So I'm going to take my pencil, and with the flux that I had yesterday, I'm going to do a little bit of shading around it. So I'm lightly taking the pencil and going around my flux. Now with shading in art, most of the time what they'll tell you is that you have to go where the light is. But in Zentangle, we don't do that. Zentangle, it's just sort of whatever you feel like you want your shading to be, that's where it is. You can shade as much or as little as you want. It's up to you. So then I'm taking my, now you can blend it, like I said, if you roll a piece of paper into a stump, or if you have some kind of other blending tool. I wouldn't use a blending marker because you don't want it to be wet. You could also just use your finger. So I'm just doing it a little bit around the flux here to get a little bit of depth. So it makes it look like it's a little set out from the background. It's hard to see it, but if you look at it up close, you can see that it's got a little bit more depth, and that's basically what that does. Now you can shade around for your Crescent Moon as well. I just don't usually shade much with Crescent Moon because it's so filled in with black. Like the more open tangles is more like what you do the shading for, but I'm just going to shade it around so it pops a little as a whole unit as opposed to here and there. Now when you shade, you can go straight across or you can go in little circles. Sometimes going in little circles gives a better impression. Okay, so you can see that looks a little bit more in depth. Okay, so that's what our tile looks like now. So tomorrow we will do another tangle. Tomorrow I'm thinking that we're going to do the flower like this, just the flower on the inside. So thanks for watching.